So testing 1 2. It's PowerUpBoxing. So we all seen Vasily Lomachenko versus Jose Pedraza last night. Uh, it was an okay fight. We probably maybe expected more from Lomachenko, and not. I think because we're used to him making people quit and or just breaking down a guy with a lot of combinations and a lot of punches. And he did that around 11 in this fight, but he seemed rusty or he seemed off. I don't know. Something seemed off. I don't know if it was just the style of the guy. The guy was, Pedraza was throwing a lot of punches, or he was throwing punches that were measuring sticks. Like, he wasn't fully committing to his punches, Jose Pedraza, but he was sticking his arms out there and keeping, I guess, Lomachenko kind of at bay. I don't know why Lomachenko was stalking him, but he wasn't throwing a lot of punches. Like, I think, I don't know. That's what it seemed like. So something seemed off. He didn't look like he wanted to be there really. I know Ego Boxing. He mentioned that. He said that. Shout out to Ego Boxing. Check out his channel. He said that Lomachenko didn't look like he wanted to be there. He didn't look very motivated in the fight, and I kind of agree with what he said there. Uh, and at the end of the fight, after he won, like even in the ring while he was fighting, he didn't look like he was really having fun like he usually did, like he usually does. So I don't know if mentally he just wasn't feeling well that day, or maybe he was feeling off that day or something. I don't know, but yeah, whatever it was. And at the end of the fight, his face did look kind of beat up a bit. His around his eyes, he looked like he was kind of drained. Something just looked off, but I don't know. He said he was 100% healthy, so we kind of just have to take his word for it. He says the shoulder's completely healed up and it's all healthy and stuff. So, uh, you, I guess you can't say it's the shoulder because he said it wasn't the shoulder. He says he's 100%. So, uh, yeah, but he called out Mikey Garcia after the fight. Win or lose, he wants to fight Mikey Garcia. Like if he loses to Spence or wins against Spence, he wants to fight Mikey. If Mikey can win against Spence, it'll make the fight a lot bigger. If he loses against Spence, it won't be as big, especially if he gets knocked out or loses pretty badly. But considering uh, Lomachenko's performances at at 135 lightweight, where Mikey had his last fight at, and then he fought at 140 before that against Broner. I'm talking about Mikey Garcia, but Lomachenko has. So they both fought the same weight class recently, 135. We all know Mikey is coming up to welterweight from 135, but he has been at 140 against Broner. So Mikey has more experience fighting bigger guys professionally and probably in the gym. He's sparred with Maidan a lot of times and other bigger guys. So Brandon Rios. So I'm sure Lomachenko has sparred bigger guys in the gym too, but Mikey has actually fought bigger guys in professionally. Broner being one of them. So that's bigger than any of Lomachenko's opponents. But Lomachenko at 135 looks like he's nearing his peak for how much he can go up in weight. There's a limit to how much you can go up, I guess. No matter how much skills you have, you need the strength to implement those skills. And once you're at such a strength disadvantage, you can't implement the skills anymore, no matter how many skills you have. So I think that's what we're getting at. At 135 is probably he's nearing his peak. At 140, he probably maxes out completely strength wise. I don't think he can even go over. If he goes over and fights a B-level fighter at 147, I think he would lose and possibly get stopped. Who knows, right? But at 140, he's at already. That's I think that'd be a tall order for considering Lomachenko's size. Like, he's 30 years old and he's fighting at 135, but like a year and a half ago, he was fighting at 126, I think. I could be wrong, 130, 126. So when you're that age, when you're nearing 30 and you're only fighting at 126, you're probably you at 30 years old, you probably maxed out how much you can go up in weight after that because you pretty much fully filled out at that point at 30 years old. Obviously, you can artificially put on more weight and bulk up, but that's not your natural weight anymore. But obviously, when you're 22, 21, like you're still growing. So if you're fighting at 126 when you're 21, that's different than fighting at 126 when you're 28, 29. So uh, I don't know. I think if he fights Mikey Garcia, like just say Mikey Garcia even loses to Spence by decision and doesn't lose that bad, I'd probably favor. I think I'd favor Mikey Garcia, but I think it'd be a 50-50 fight depending. Right now, I think it's a 50-50 fight. Depending on how Mikey does against Spence will determine my percentage-wise what I think otherwise. Because if he puts up no opposition against Spence, I'm going to still say it's 50-50. But if he gets like knocked out bad and mentally he could suffer, then I would maybe favor Lomachenko after that point. But say if he loses to Spence and he doesn't lose that bad, not that he doesn't get beat up that bad, I'll think it's still a 50-50 fight. But if he does still lose and he puts up a really good fight, though, then I'd favor Mikey Garcia for sure. Because Spence, obviously, I think Mikey Garcia probably has the better boxing skills than Spence. They're around the same. I think Mikey's probably better, though. Like, experience-wise, he grew up in that boxing family. So I would favor Mikey for that. But the size, beating Spence is still a big accomplishment because Spence got skills, but the sheer strength of Spence, he's way stronger than Lomachenko, in my opinion. Like, so he's just a way bigger guy. Like, Spence walks around at like 190 probably, 180 at least. And Lomachenko walks around at probably 140 at most, I'm guessing. Probably not even 140. I don't know. He looks like a small guy. He has a small frame. So right now, he calls out. Okay, so he calls out Mikey Garcia. What do you guys think about this fight? He's been calling out Mikey Garcia. I think he's been wanting that fight for a while now. But Mikey Garcia has talked about getting that fight too. Obviously, he chose Spence over him. Mikey's wanted Pacquiao fight. He's wanted many fights. Mikey doesn't back down. But obviously, you could say if Mikey loses to Lomachenko, it would be a bigger hit because to his stock than losing to Spence. Because Spence, no one's giving him any chance against Spence. So even if he loses, his stock's not going to go down that much unless he just gets like really demolished. But if he loses to Lomachenko, his stock's going to go down, I think, because Lomachenko's the smaller guy. And yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. Like, obviously, if he puts up a decent display and still loses against Lomachenko, his stock wouldn't go down that bad. But I think it's a better situation with Spence stock-wise. It's a win-win for him unless he gets seriously hurt in that fight. Let's hope no guy gets seriously hurt in it. Here, we all heard what happened to Adonis Stevenson. Actually, I don't know what his current condition is, but I heard he was getting better. Let's just still pray for him. Hopefully, he makes a full recovery. He after Adonis's fight against that Ukrainian fighter, what's his name? I forget his name now. Is it Usyk? I know Usyk or Usyk, or I know the cruiserweight Usyk or Usyk, and then I think this guy has like the same last name. It's like similar. But to be honest, I didn't watch the fight. I haven't been following Adonis Stevenson fights for a while because he wasn't fighting the top guys. But still, yeah, we all know you sacrifice your life when you're stepping in that ring, so you got to give respect. Yeah, so right now I think it's a 50-50 fight. Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia if it happened next. But depending on how Mikey Garcia does against Spence, that will show a lot more. Or that will change people's predictions, probably, depending on how that fight goes. So anyway, guys, right now I think it's a 50-50 fight. Mikey's got the power, the experience, good boxing skills. Lomachenko's got the footwork, the speed, and the gold medal experience. So yeah, I think. Oh, and Mikey's got more size on him too. He's a little more stockier. So it should be a good fight if it happens though. But like I said, we'll see what happens with Spence Garcia. I'm looking forward to that fight. And let me know what you guys think about that fight, and let me know what you think of Lomachenko's performance against Jose Pedraza. Stay powered up, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.